intelligent and matured, una go able to think a brighter future. So let me say no to push. Let me say no to
Sierra Leone. Push. You ma killer this is for them. What for you say?
This ain't not a kush. No, not a kush. No, not a kush. Oh yeah, me I can feel them. What are they on me eye? We are the see me sister them. They die in the street. Oh, me I can feel them. When you they see me brother them in the streets. Yeah, some they link they not. Some lay down a guts and they sleep. Oh. So when I ask, they tell me say na kush. Nike pull roll and son of them food. They prefer for left the house, they gonna get so all day they kush. Oh yeah, say not a kush. Me brother don't want before him friend. Say not a kush. So they use the old age man young. Say not a kush. Youths them just they die. Say not a kush. For you. We say that's a cushion. Hey, push for die. Say that's a cushion. Papa government help we are. Say that's a cushion. Hey, push for die. Say that's a cushion. Pop for you to say, is it all?
Tumble them. Una good evening. I hope say any side usa una fen una self na the world. I hope say life for una. I hope say life has treated you well. I hope say una get a good week. I hope say work has been good. I hope say your health has been good. So today we can also again can talk about salon issues. And una know for say when different things and they be for me, I not can just sit down no more and they look at everything they go on. I also can look at the bigger picture. Most of the time, we can talk about women them, we can talk about we picking them, we they talk in general terms. But one of the things then where we can forget for talk about now we girl picking them, and we can also forget for talk about we woman them. Not so. So today I don't look inside this stock here, so I don't look inside this stock here. So I decided to reach out to some 2-3 people then inside the society, inside the community, and ask them, say, do ya? In all of waiting they go on inside we country and this and that. One talk the way we not in the talk about too much. One talk the way we need for talk about, and then they in our women's health, and then they in our mental health, because then they're very, very important for society. Me can always say, I know say they can say, educate a woman, you educate a nation, and all of that. But for me, I strongly believe say, without a woman there is no nation. Without a woman, there is no nation, there is nothing, because they are the givers of life, not so. If they not produce life, within which head counts we they for count? Nothing, not so. So the woman has to be balanced, the woman has to be well, the woman has to be whole. Not so for make society go develop. Me believe say a strong society, the backbone of a strong society, it rests on, an empowered nation. We empower the woman them very, very much. So, and we make space for the woman them for thrive, not so. So today, as you don't also with 2 allejo, una know the allejo also already. Una know them, una sabi them, some of una they follow them, work them. Some of una know about the work them. Me, the biography alone, I know can sit down, I also the small time when they don't give me for can sit down read them biography until I know but just for introduction's sake, I go read no more say the first part the autobiography for make una get a sense of the kind of people them where I bring Kanayaso today. And for make una appreciate them term, if una get question for call and ask them, una call. I ask that everybody be polite, because remember, for me, it's about knowing. When we do not know, we cannot do better. But when we know, at least we have a foundation, right, to want to do better, right? So I want to make Dr. Carol Labor tell Fambulen, good evening, this evening, also. Um, so Dr. Carol
Good
Labor
evening.
tell Fambulen.
Fambuda, I'll do my good evening.
Okay. So, Dr. Carol Labor, I just want to read small number but Nayasu, okay? So, Dr. Carol Labor is the founder and principal consultant of MHI Global, Sierra Leone advisor on mental health, presidential appointment, Sierra Leone, West Africa, vice chair of Africa CDC's high level advisory committee on NCD and mental health, and general board member, African Association of Threat Assessment Professional. With over 3 decades of professional experience in people centered roles inclusive of 14 years international experience in gender focused education, mental health, and psychological support service, and social and emotional learning services, and the pioneer of employee wellness program in Sierra Leone. She is charged with designing and developing the framework for scaling up the accessibility and availability of mental health and addiction service delivery for over 7.5 million people in Sierra Leone. Well, now we know for sure with population at 8 million, so you don't get 500 more added to in task, right? So now I want to go to Dr. Fatu Forna. Tell Fambuleado.
Fumble the onado na howdy body. I hope say all man they do fine.
Indeed. Okay, so I want to read small tone about Dr. Fatu as well. Dr. Fatu is the co-founder and executive director of Mama-Pikin Foundation, a non-profit organization that aims to improve women, the health of women and children in Sierra Leone, West Africa. She is an obstetrician, gynecologist, epidemiologist, and international maternal and child health expert with solid leadership and public health experience. She received her medical degree from Duke University School of Medicine and a master's degree in public health from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. Dr. Forna completed her obstetrics and gynecology residency at Emory University School of Medicine and an epidemic intelligence service fellowship at the Center for Disease Control and Prevention. She is a fellow of the American College and Obstetrics and Gynecologist. Now, so to make another feel like for being doctor in Ghana also. Oh, David, you know, the tongue, you know, get on out for all your tongue. Some of them, then degree they answer in specialties. The my goodness. It is something else. But listen, people, we have two beautiful ladies with us tonight. And make we know waste them. I asked the question, say, women's health, mental health. Sierra Leone, are we there yet? I know some people let me they give me back talk. Matilda, I think they talk about are we there yet? No, we have to ask the question. Because if we don't ask the question, we're not gonna know whose side we there right now and see whose side we need for go. So I throw the question to you, Dr. Fatu. Are we there yet?
You know, it's a definitely a journey. We can to Salone in women's health and mental health because mental health for me na an important and integral part of women's health. All the what they do, we mental health get for the inside. Yes, we're not being sabi too much about her in the past, but we dey learn more and realize how important it is. So where I think of women's health in Salone, we actually don't carry a long, long, long way, and we don't improve a lot. But yet we get journey, we not reach there yet. Especially we come to realizing how important mental health is for women's health, understanding the problem there and following able for fix some of them problem and we they fast small. But we don't start the journey and then they important starting the journey.
Starting the journey is very important. And in terms of actually starting the journey, recently I read from the Ministry of Health, as a matter of fact, that in Kenema that they're going to be building, and then they build. People now excuse me, na Korea for talk. This Korea and this English sometimes they will not know me. We can effect, right? Then they build a midwife school na Kenema where go get like a hall, you go get like mannequin, so training school, you go get staff quarters and all them thing and they. When are a really good thing because normally not to all time we for one go free tongue. Freetown Salone get different province system and waiting we get na Freetown, the expectation is that we forget them same facilities than they back at the different provinces then. So in terms of you pioneering the Mama-Pikin Foundation, and I know you had to woman them and picking them, especially maternal health. How you feel about this news? Because for me, it's an exciting news.
Yes, no, no, definitely very exciting news. One is when you go back about 7 to 10 years ago, Salone, we country when at 8 million people or so. Now 300 midwife no more we been getting the entire country. Come to now, we get over 1,500 midwives. So now country, when you look at that country, then we now one of the we really don't move forward for focus for understand say we need caregiver then for woman then and we don't establish midwifery school then a McKinney and other place there and a glad for can see this one at Kenema. So we they really focus for train the people the way they take care of we woman then. Okay. And the reason that they important is people are excited a lot for build hospital, for build school, for build anything, and they. I just while we always remember say the building then nice step, but waiting more important are the building and are the people them we get for the inside. How then they support the training, how then they support the personnel, how then they build them up because you not go build big hospital, you not get people there for work, they're waiting at the point. I'm glad with that plan there because I don't see we country don't they pair then school year with actual training of midwife there. We don't they see the number then they increase. So that are definitely very welcome news for the country.
Okay, very good, very good. Dr. Carol, I want to switch to you now. So, on the mental and health front, are we there yet? We know for say Salone, for the longest time, now one green psychiatric hospital we get, we now over 100 and something years old. And maybe if 10 permits, we are going to play a video where, some good at philanthropists then can inside and then can help we for rehabilitate, for rebuild, I go say that facility there, right? Partners in health, I believe they are. Um, we currently don't go through a lot of traumatic phases then, right? And within traumatic phases, then they build, they internalize, whether we are picking them, whether we are woman, whether we are man, no matter what age. Trauma na trauma. And trauma they manifest themselves in different forms. So to you, my question will be, are we there yet? And if we are not there yet, what are we doing, for fill the gap?
Okay. So thank you, Matilda, for having me. And I just want to preface it. So I know they I'm not talking on behalf of the government of Sierra Leone.
Yeah.
And so in terms of are we there yet? I would say we're on a journey. I would say for the longest time in Sierra Leone, mental health was neglected in Sierra Leone. But about 2 years ago, I I wrote a letter. So the story can just kind of weird because na letter I write. Nobody not being even sabi me out of me close friends and family. But I write letter. I say I don't come back. I mean qualifications. This I want to contribute to increasing accessibility and availability of mental health services, and that's how I got my role. And so, in terms of are we there yet? Again, it's a journey. But I would say for the first time in the history of Salone, we are now embarking on this journey of mental health. We have the 1902 Lunacy Act. Before this term, I'm the first advisor ever appointed on mental health in the history of Salone in the 63 years since we independent. So that they show say we're on our way, we're on our journey. Before now, nobody talk about mental health. Now all man they talk about mental health inside salon. So when you talk about women's health, mental health is an integral, just like Dr. Forna say, integral part of women's health. Why? You talk about trauma, Matilda. So when we they talk about trauma, I guess something where they call epigenetics. Woman, if you don't expose to trauma, when you get belly, you dey pass and down to you picking. Eh? So even before this picky they born safe, the picky don't exposed to trauma. So waiting they happen where you they look where picking born, they don't get that indirect or direct. This spend depending on your school of thought, traumatic exposure. Then now this picking back as we they try for educate people there on trauma to change the natural development of people in brain. So even if we, I don't say I not harmful talk on cruise, but even if we look at drug addiction, addictive behaviors, addictive behaviors in women, we'll use just women, and if you look at addictive behaviors, some people then we have to look at the biological factors, psychological factors, social factors. So when you talk about biopsychosocial, so people then just grab say, oh, I want smoke marijuana, I want drink boku rum, and some people them are genetically predisposed to addiction. So then they mean say, where we might get belly, we can or way born, we can say, this speaking if you buy mama, if you buy papa, but we get for understand say not to just the facial features out picking fiber, but also genetics. The picking they inherit the genes from your mama side, papa side. So even if you go look at the family tree, sometimes somebody in great granny being get addiction issues, in grandpa be get alcoholism, so tell somebody then at the family where they get schizophrenia, different forms of psychosis. And so now these people they deal with all dandy they and I when I get for excuse me Creole, but all dandy they impact the picking way they develop. So these
Yes.
picking now they develop at a disadvantage than incumbent them we're not exposed to trauma. And like you say right now in trauma and salon, all man has been exposed to trauma. Waiting be happening after the war, Truth and Reconciliation Commission, then being recommend, for let people them get support treatment for their trauma. So I don't know how far down they go because I not been there salon that time, but I know at this time inside salon where from the time where I don't come into this position 2 years now, we don't develop the framework. Where I can talk about the framework, and how we they go forward, how we go able train 5,000 people then inside 5 years to perform mental health and psychosocial support services. Let we train people then. So we go get the sabi, the other master sabi then, and people then inside the country right now, as you say, we have a ratio of we have about three psychiatrists and mental health nurses. In terms of psychiatrists, right now we have a ratio of one psychiatrist to every 2.6 million people. So the answer to that is using the a bottom up approach. So we dey train people them, let people then be able for support. Let we focus on prevention and early intervention because even now America has not tackled mental health issues. One in five people where they America get mental health issues, and America has a short of psychiatrists, therapists, counselors. So when we look at mental health globally, mental health as it relates to woman issue them. Of course, woman we na the mama them. So anything we happen to we picking them, boy picking herself, everything they begin with the woman. So as we they go along and talk about, usai we dey go, we don't come off far from 1902 where then do the first law for mental health, and now for there then this the president come, His Excellency the President Dr. Julius Maada Bio come for appoint person where nobody not ever sabi me. They not ever appoint advisor on mental health in the 63 years where we don't come off from where we don't get with independence. I say we don't come off far.
Okay. Yes, indeed, we don't come off far looking at the fact that I would say maybe from your appointment to now, I would say maybe, in the last few years, forget somebody where they look at mental health from a specialty, specialized expertise, not just, this person know but mental health, that person know but mental health, but from a pedagogical perspective, I think say Dandena a very good thing. I will come back to you because you say something interesting. 1.2 million person, one doctor, one psychiatric, so 1.2 where they take care of 1.2 million people. But then you also talk about, I think, training 5,000
So
mental health experts.
no, I just want
Right.
for clarity, Matilda, for
Yeah,
clarity.
yeah,
I don't say that they take care of then that number of people then where you they talk about data and ratio. So we get
data. Okay,
mental health nurses, you get mental health nurses, you get different counselors them because not so just psychiatrists and no more. You get mental health nurses, you get different specialized nurses, even the midwives. All of these people are able to support the mental health and well-being. So no, I just know I say now then I will be use the ratio of psychiatrists. You get other mental health professionals and even non-mental health professionals because like Dr. Forna say, when we they talk about human mental health, it's well-being, it's a holistic. And so
yes.
if woman get belly, it begin and show signs of depression in during her pregnancy, you don't need a specialized care. We were able come inside, can support them, talk to them, encourage them, learn what they happen to them, show them different skills. So we they try for mitigate, let people they know develop a clinical diagnosis of mental health. Yeah. So I've been just want to clarify that. Day. I also want to say we get 16 districts then every hospital, every government hospital in every district, anybody can go there. I can look the data. People then they go Bo Hospital, people then they go Kenema Hospital. So not so just the Kisi Psychiatric Hospital, all the government services, even inside Kono, they have a very good mental health program inside Kono. So people them any side and they, if they want mental health care, want care for addiction, then can go there. Say mental health, addiction, now voluntary thing. So you're not going to able to force anybody for go. So because we can talk about recovery, we all down there get for do with people then for learn how for reduce their urges and things like that. So I be just want to make that point really clear. Yeah. Thank you.
No, thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much. Dr. Fatu, speaking of, maternal, newborn health in Sierra Leone, and also we don't come a long way looking at the data from even 5, 10 years ago to where the data is currently. I know that there was a time when nearly every day they see Bele woman, they die. Bele woman, like a news of someone or someone you acquaint yourself with or somebody like that, get Bele go for go born picking. The next thing you know, instead of rejoicing, we are crying, right? But I can definitely attest to the fact that say then news then they don't become minimized. And I think saying that the collective work of everybody puts together and the make them use then they don't become minimized. Like I can say one of the most important thing, even in this care, is that if you get the right team, but also if you get the right education, not only having the right team, but also having the right education, then no matter how dire the situation is, there is possible hope, right? And I think say you don't show that and you don't do that countless time with the Mama-Pikin Foundation, showing them, how to wrap their kids in a blanket. Like I know for saying, the person, they always the comments, but I'm always going watching the story, following behind the scenes for see what people then they do. In 2002, the Washington Post come out with a headline where make it go all over the place and it became viral, like they say being pregnant in Sierra Leone is a deadly game. And for me, that thing they left me very, very traumatized, as in the way the story was, the headline, the being pregnant in Sierra Leone is a deadly game. Pregnancy is not a game, giving birth to life, bringing life into the world is not a game, It's sustenance, it's a continuation of cycle, right? Of life cycle. But then, as I think about the show, as I put the show together and I thought about that article and I thought about, I think about the story of that article because I take me time read them step by step by step, the girl from Kono and everything. And then last week, you come now and you flipped my brain over. And you flipped my brain over because they gave a lecture, I believe it was at Brown's University, where your very first statement now, the moment a woman becomes pregnant, she puts the first nail in her own coffin. Explain to us, in terms of, even as we do a cross-cutting, whatever here, we're talking about women in general, but we are focusing on our native land, which is Sierra Leone. If you talk about that in general, when we drill and down to Sierra Leone, what does that really mean?
Yes. Now, one of the quotes them, now an African proverb, I don't know exactly whose country it come out from. So tell us Salone, but I don't know. But I grew up the area and when a woman becomes pregnant, she puts the first nail in her own coffin. And I think say waiting that they attest to, pregnancy in a normal condition where they happen. Since the dawn of time, and so we life they sustain as humans. However, pregnancy not to a disability, not to a sickness, but when you're pregnant, you can become very disabled, you can become very sick, you can die. So I think say when you go around the world, Nayana, America, na other countries, then Asia, the Caribbean, they all get similar saying there like that. Just for let people know say that belly tendon are very vulnerable term for women, where the whole community, the whole healthcare system need to put their hands around them for support them so they go do well, then go survive. Because mama can die, baby can die. And when you talk about that 2002 article, right around that 10 day, around the year 2000, 2001, 2002, a couple of articles and come actually way, and they say Sierra Leone is the most dangerous place to become a mother. Sierra Leone is it's the worst place to be born a girl. And those statements were true.
At times.
They don't wipe away not to then talk. But I think what happened is right around that time, that from the year 2000 to 2010, there became this focus where, as a country, we begin serious about maternal health specifically. And did a couple of things where, if you look back to 2000, Sierra Leone was one of the top 3 countries with the highest maternal death rate in the world. Top 3,
yes,
right? Over around that 10 day, the government, the community then say they're fed up. All man say they're fed up with Belom and they die. Now they all come together and then put something in place. You know what I say? It takes a village to raise a child. When that Salone do around maternal health and around maternal mortality. The community partnered, the community that them urge the government and then push the government. And when you talk about community activism, all man fed up with Bella and they die. And the government self decide for make that partnership day. So a couple of things happened in the course of 20 years where we'd all reduce with maternal mortality by 75%. One of the top countries in the world will decrease their maternal mortality. And the way so in the past 20 years, we maternal mortality don't decrease by 75%. In the past 10 years, by 50%. So remarkably good work by we all wait for Gladys and for push that work day forward. And a couple of things that will happen is then start this free healthcare initiative where all belle woman, lactating mothers and pikin and they get free healthcare and any health facility. That they start in 2010. The government started that day. And waiting and they do around 2000 where all them people happy they die. Now only 30% of women they born na clinic or hospital. The remaining 70% they born na house. And when you born na house, need you they die because you not get nurse, you not get midwife, you not get doctor. Something happen, you family able help you. So when they do that free healthcare, women then now begin born in a health center, then begin train nurse and begin train midwife. Just like how Dr. Labor they talk about this plan where they get for train 5,000. When I think can plan and then they begin make 20 years ago, what would they see they happen now? So right now, about 90% of women they now they born a health center and clinic. Women and then they born now house again. And then the government do now small NGO they like where we all they do this delivery buckets and things for encourage women, they pay transport for them for born a facility. Now the community then do I remember where the president at one time talk to them, say this maternal health. I put her now on her hand. Let Bella woman not die now on our community. Let we all partner together. And so it was this partnership between government and community and organization and all together. We don't do this work for now. Woman and they born a health facility. We they train midwife there. We they train OBGYN there. We they work on the hospital and for make them better with the blood, with the ambulance, all anything and they come together. And we they see what happen where the community push the government and partner with the government and then decide for put effort in something. So Salone are the country where we show the world, say we not poor country, we not get money, we not get better money, but when we decide for put hand together and work on something, we see change. So I hope say that what we don't do with the woman there. We get a long way for go. We not there, we don't count down, but we still not on the outside we suppose for the but the commitment there and the push there. So I hope say what we do around maternal health. Successive governments they don't find and say important and they all they push on. So that's good. We don't ever go backwards, we just go forward. And I hope say what we do on maternal health, we go continue for push and forward, for get to Usai, we want to go finish this journey. And we go look at that as a model. Like when Dr. Lemo, they talk about mental health, all the other things the world they see. That model they will able to do other things there.
Yeah, that's very good. You know, people. I just want to take a break here right now. Excuse me. You see, Sierra Leone, and I want to take a break for talk to now. You know, many a times with a question, we ask a lot of questions then. And for me, I know for say one of my key objectives that I know they ask questions blindly, right? We can't just be asking questions. We can't just be throwing dirt, right, blindly. We need to get an aim, right? Not to so. So for me, I don't always tell them for say when the opportunity come for ask the question, get the right people them we understand, we know exactly what in they go on. Where then are they feel, where then they put their hand to the plow, you know what I mean? Then they do the grease and elbow work. For me, if I get them na yaso for can sit down and talk to you and tell you exactly what in they go on, then it's a form of education. Then when we speak, we do not speak blindly. We they talk with, you know, a level of understanding. We they talk with a level of knowing. You know, I just want to say something. If I've been sit down and so right now, they analyze some political speech. Now, all been done for can sit down and so. Like right now, this place been for jam packed. But now we are talking about something that is fundamentally important for the progression and development of a nation. But because I know Sidona has to condemn Paso, I know Sidona they condemn Pamomodu and Pas Antiguna, all don't disappear silent. But I tell you people, without women, our nation cannot move. Women, life begin at the conception of a woman, period. Make I tell you Dandy. They are the custodians or bearer of a nation. So if we not take care of them, if we not understand them, if we not bring them kind of the table, if we not understand waiting at their needs, waiting at their lack, and we not try to address that, I am sorry, people. All of this that we are doing is for nothing. So when are they do them type shows, so please, I'm encouraging you all. It's a little bit disheartening for me because I know you people. If na some other kind topic I've been talk, but now so today una they are in na 200, so na 400, so na 500, so na 600. But we are talking about una go quick for go point finger. Say this not the happen, that's not the happen, this not the do. But now we are talking about it and we are trying to tell you how it is happening. We're not saying it is perfect by no means, but we are saying what is there. Let us acknowledge what is there so that we can know what is missing and collectively we can all work towards what is missing. I get a caller on the line and I can always give caller priority because they can like for add or get question. Please caller, go ahead. Waiting on your name and who say you call from.
Hello, Matilda.
Hello, Mr.
First,
Umar.
first of all, I revoke that statement for say we don't disappear, we not disappear, we still there, we watch the program. The thing is that the program is more educative to us. Some of we just try for learn about the program, and when they talk about human business, and say most of the program we contribute for the program and man them, so we get a little bit of knowledge, and you get for ask question when you know what they ask about, So like anyway, we tell them, I mean, thank you. We tell we sister them thank you waiting at the studio, but we don't. What we get now for listing, not that we disappear, but we get for listing because for later something the topic where you talk about to me, it look even though naturally don't they exist all along, but it look new to us, So Sierra Leoneans we not used for that we get professionals they can't talk to we. All they get most of the time are politicians that we get we can't talk to we, and we feel say most of the time we need professionals. We need professionals in all sectors if we can talk to, but most of the time, all the politicians will you will get somebody who is an engineer, an health minister, and you get somebody who is 48 years old, the youth minister. So we don't use students in there forget professionals for can't talk to we. So we welcome them today, we hope them will come all the time. But for now, we're not going to contribute too much. We just get for listening and learn for voting and they say. So we'll not disappear. We're still around there. We'll watch the program. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mubar, and thank you for the reassurance. And I know, all things are small. Like, the two doctors, they say clearly, then conversations, they are not two conversations the way we used to. They're not a part of we culture, but not conversations the way we need, not conversations the way we need for get used to. Because how do we change? How do we learn? Right? If we not get the conversations then. I want to go to Dr. Carol, but Dr. Fatu, I know for say right up until 2003, the official record from the WHO have been still 717 deaths per 100,000 births. So have we
2023.
moved yes, 2023 indeed. Have we moved the needle? Because I also see another statistic we say we don't move up from 54% of women then where they go give birth in a hospital, we don't move up to about 80%, which is a significant increase if that statistic and data is right. So I want to make you tell me small about moving that needle closer.
Yes. So when you look at the number of when they talk maternal mortality, then they talk the number of women that will die per 100,000 woman they wey dey born. Now so then can get ratio now one funny way with them and then number they come out. So we so start around the 2000s or so we be there around 1,600 women the way they die per 100,000 life births. And usually Salone can get close to 300,000 birth them per year. So if na be 1,600 be they die per 100,000, then you times three, nearly 5,000 women and they die every year in a salon way back then. Where you can now they talk about 2019, now slightly different estimates there, but we don't count down to 717. So that 717 they times them by three. So that number they don't count half to about 2,000 or so. The recent estimate wey been come out in 2000, we don't go to 443 deaths per 100,000, right? So about 1,200 or so women they die each year. That with maternal mortality can get small lag before we get it. Can take a few years before we get the number. So we're not able to find out the exact number today. That ratio. So the last one we'll get at is 443. But the World Health Organization, different the target where they get, they really want the country there in Africa be less than 200. And Boku country
Right.
there in Africa only less than 200. We not did it, but the Ministry of Health really they push them, they do a lot of work, then they set targets. In fact, they don't even set targets, say by next year it will be 300. They'll tell the next year I go to 100. So we they show say we there on track. Really, we they try. And one thing where the Ministry of Health they do, they get something called the Maternal Death Surveillance and Response Program. Salone have been one party pioneer them na Africa. So even way back, I've been working at Salone with the World Health Organization for about 2 years back in 2017 or so. That's when the program they start. With that program, they every single woman we die inside Salone. We they not to say would they fenam, would they know in name, would they go take from that woman from in oaths. Take to the taxi where take to the health center where go born, take to the hospital where go born. If you die na road or if na health center I die or if na OC that we meet, we get people in a salon, the midwife, then the nurse, then the Ministry of Health, then worker, then the day, community health worker, they all they come together. Me don't go there and can meet where they call one community, they go to the woman village, we call community meeting. Leoma explain what happen. And I one of the key things and what don't happen where they cause we for improve so. Because we recognize and die, we care, we want to know what happen. They go to and people and bang, we ask. Take to the hospital, we query all my we don't ask to find out what happen. They will go begin say, okay, now this not been problem, so let's fix it. Now this not been problem, transport been problem now yeah. Now net this they happen, the hospital not been get this, we try for fix it. So because of that system, they were Salone and one pali pioneer na Africa where they start down the 2015, 2016, 2017. We now able real time every month, every week, we they know the woman away die. We they continue, we they follow up, we they do this investigation. So the government, the Ministry of Health, they really know every year they know the exact number of women away die. Now some go there where they die where they don't know, but nearly all they know. And part of that number then they now the world body then can help count for no Saudi. So what I can say is yes, we don't decrease. We not the country we get the steepest decrease. We they try, and really the government they try. Now there's definitely opportunity for improvement, but then they try that way, and we they see that number they go down.
Okay, good. And I see people this is why I now can when it comes to the county so I now can just let for go by the ARC because I can let for talk to people them we know the numbers, where they in the field, where they see the improvements, and then we can talk about like for me, everything what I don't hear so from Dr. Fatu, I would have really loved when I go on the website to see all the things in the so right? Because if the government or the institution they do something, it good for show what you they do, right? Because when you show what you they do, it's out there. and then you other people then can take that information there and help for educate and spread, make the message go wider, right? I know for say one thing we not really really good at is we are not really solid in our public relations then. We're not really solid in public relation in propagating the right message, sending out the right message, showing what has been done, showing from how we've moved from point A to point B. We're not really, really good at that. And so therefore, now they cause a lot of disinformation. They cause a lot of, they create a space for a lot of disinformation. And disinformation goes, the news, it travel faster than correct information. So now one of them is in the also make, this conversation needed to be heard. But before I go into the issue of paid maternity leave, na Salone, because then they like na something back way they affect women. I want to turn attention small to Dr. Carol. Because going through pregnancy and all of that, now stressful moments for women then. Not also now stressful moments. Now we're not here to talk
Yes.
about push and all substance abuse and all of that, but we know that right now inside the nation we deal with substance abuse heavily. Not also, but I want to talk about that intersectionality. That intersectionality. What that does to the mental psyche of a woman and of a human being, period. And how like the cross relationship between them two.
The cross relationship between stress, and I don't get your question
Stress,
right.
stress, mental health, stress, and you touch on them a little bit where you been the talk, and abuse, drug abuse, mental health, stress, the intersectionality between all of those things.
Yes, I thank you, Matilda. So, like with the talk, the woman then is the center, Usai like in for person. I don't talk already, but exposure to trauma, wetin the mama they feel, the pikin they feel. So even if the woman don't born, the woman stress in reaction to the pikin, how e dey take care of the pikin, sometimes will be impacted. Then the woman not go able breastfeed the pikin if they under stress. And so when we talk about stress, we have physical stress, we have mental stress, we have emotional stress. So Boku terms and today when we dey talk about mental health, we can use mental health as a broad term. But mental health in itself is something where all man gets. Mental health is the state of our mind. So the state of our mind where you get belay and even postnatal after you don't born, and then they go determine level. Now, when we talk about how stress can turn into mental health, mental health they operate on a spectrum. Like say, is mental health it didn't align. So people then have their natural their states, their optimal states out in there. Of course, we sing. So you get you optimum states, usa you there, a state of well. Then you can see people then where different lives can happen, relationship stress, and environmental stress, different factors where they impact, and people then go able go begin move from the state of well to a state of unwellness. And so now then we they try for buffer that side there where we want train people then. And you can train lay people then because you get Boku organizations then where they support people then now where we top of the continuum of care. And so when you say if person able managing stress, then they go help them for not turn to unhealthy coping mechanisms because we all they cope with stress different ways. Some people then you go see them they smoke cigarettes with then stress. Some people then go smoke jamba with then stress. Some people then go take cocaine with then stress. Some people then they beat woman with then stress. So stress manifests itself in different ways. So it's really dependent on the person how then they manage their stress. Where you see stress don't begin turn into mild symptoms when you look at the symptoms of mental health disorders. A lot of time you have overlapping symptoms. We may have also people that have what we call comorbidity. Sometimes somebody gets depression, but they also get a form of psychosis. So that they deal with two or more different things where they go on. Then they back where you talk about addictive behaviors in women, all the different things then where we talk about the root etiology of waiting the happen between an individual person eh, can lead to these unhealthy coping mechanisms in people. Now, when it comes to addiction, I will take and see we they talk about women's health. When you talk to a woman that's addicted to substance, this, of course, is going to impact her life. It will impact the life of in Pikine now because I go able to take care of himself. I go able to take care of in Pikine. You get people then where they call them a functional addiction. So you get people then where they smoke jamba, where they smoke kush, where they do cocaine, but then they grab, then they go walk. People then can say namion then see. The people then where they see, now the people then where unfortunately the spotlight is on them, but we also want to focus on these people, but everyone where they deal with mental health or even addiction, let them come to the master sabi people, them let them help them. But again, the buffer program where we want to do that early intervention prevention for let we educate people then just like we they educate people then now, because again when it comes back to stress, how people that they manage stress, you talk about your thoughts, how your thoughts influence how you feel, and how your feeling influences behavior. And so, if we able and teach people then how for then they call them opposite to emotion. That was just one of those skills, where they teach people them for do opposite to how they feel. You teach people the emotional management, emotional regulation. The new thing now where they now working at social media, emotional intelligence. So somebody can be emotionally intelligent, but they're not sabi how for control the emotion. So we really need to, at an early age, teach people them from the mama we don't born in picking how for managing stress, picking them. Sometimes we picking and they cry is a stress response. So we all they respond to stress differently. So when we they talk about addiction, thanking day where people then can stress and they turn to substance or alcohol. But again, I want to stress the fact that addiction is a brain disease. So not to all my stress where they take substance or they drink. Addiction is a brain disease. So we have to teach people them, educate the public more about which is on its way. We now get to talk about this the health emergency declaration. There's a whole stand up. There's a situation room. Every district will have a response team, and so as the government is responding to the Kush crisis, we're also responding to the totality of mental health and well-being. So we know how we say people then sick, but we want also focus on their well-being. And if we start with the mama them, how will they teach the mama them, teach the picking them, where will they look at mental health across the life stages? I think say Dande, we they on the right path for Dande.
Okay, thank you very much. So the reason why I make I not really touch on the emergency, the Kush crisis and the declaration and the emergency is because if I touch on that, we're going to go down a whole. It's going to be a
Right.
different chain trying to talk about that five-step approach announced by the
Mhm.
government and how they are
Mhm.
going to roll that out so that it is I can call them, it is all encompassing, it is
Yes.
whole. It is not just piecemeal, but it takes into consideration all of the different pedagogy. Then it takes into consideration social work, rehabilitation, reintegration, management
Mhm.
tool, coping mechanism, psychiatry. So, I don't want to go into all of that because when I not get the time, forgive me today. I hope so. I will come back.
Yeah.
Forgive, not forgive me, but forgive Sierra Leone and them that term day so that we will take them, break them down for them. Because knowledge is power, right? Like I said,
Yeah.
there's a lot of disinformation out there, and as best as we can, even as we're here and we are talking as best as we can, it's always good for make sure say we give the right information out and put a stop or put stop the bleeding, the hemorrhage on the disinformation as much as we can, not to so. So I also see recently um, something about, I think you help the government, and correct me if I'm wrong. You help them formulate a language, right? A message guide that is culturally linguistic and appropriate on mental health and substance abuse. Why was that important for the nation? And how una plan like for roll this out, because this is something that someone like me I'm interested in amplifying it, but if I do not have the right message to amplify it, I cannot amplify
Yes.
it, because then myself go to help for spread disinformation, and I'm not into that business.
So what can we do? Collectively, we work with, the secretariat where they lead. It's multi-sectoral. So not so just Ministry of Health, you get all the different MDAs, ministries, directors, and agencies. And so that task force, the Presidential Task Force on Mental Health, we done launched last April. What do we do with the messaging guy? We get a health education unit, where then at the master sabi people then for writes their message there. Yeah. So we all come together. We develop the message guide. We do various revisions of it. We validate them. What's what they do now? If you look at the strategic plan and waiting government waiting we want to do in terms of the health emergency. Again, I know they talk for the emergency response because I'm not dedicated to that
Right.
side. The public information is part of it, and so the Ministry of Information and Communications, I believe. Let not get a name right, but Moise. So now then they lead now. So waiting we don't do now. The message guide where we don't develop, we don't give them. So it will be more focused on the push response. That way they we get one message where they talk with one word. Then we they don't revise that now. We go again release them. We will release them first. Some people that we don't get time for disseminate the different messages them. But now they redo them for part of the push response. Oman go get them. Then they do jingles back with and public awareness campaigns them in all the different districts them. So a Boku planning don't they go on these last 2 weeks in terms of really getting the message out there, really increasing awareness and availability of care and accessibility again. So it's all, outside the emergency response day, really at the top, outside the secretariat day, was the walkway we they do. So we want meet middle. So as governments, they really push on mental health awareness and mental health, substance abuse, and addiction. We can talk about why they talk about addiction. I can just smile with people that can say, "Oh no, now cushion them on that addiction." People that sit down, people that can sit down, they're addicted to alcohol. People are addicted and addicted to food. People they're sex addicts. So addiction is very widespread. But now cushion them, we can really try to focus on. But again, the message guide is really for the lay person them. We all meet up and we talk one word. If you get the message guide, you go able to explain to somebody waiting abuse, substance abuse, waiting mental health disorder. Because again, mental health and mental health disorders is two different things. Waiting depression, waiting anxiety, because there's so many different mental health disorders where you talk about classifications, and how we classify. So it's really important to have that message there. So we as Sierra Leoneans, so Oman gain that knowledge and mental health literacy.
Thank you very much. So, we fumble them on Adonyeri, right? So, then they really try for make sure say this guide is all inclusive, that this guide is all encompassing, and we self way there. So, from the outside, if there is something that we feel we can add to it, let me encourage you all. The best that would happen is that you are ignored. The worst that could happen is that they are ignored. The best that could happen is that something where you maybe suggest, you somehow
Mm-hmm.
see an future inside the guide, right? So,
Yeah.
like Dr. Carroll say, he said people and they pay attention on this kush because kush is what we are seeing at the forefront. Kush is what is in our faces, right? Because waiting with a see now we they react to, but like you say, there are different forms of addiction, right? We don't see where some of we uncle and see them, cousin them, who they call them drunko, right? But it is a form of addiction, right? We don't see
Mm-hmm.
where then they go, then they smoke tail, then smoke, then liver and lungs them out. It is a form of addiction, right? Their addiction and they're not as widespread, or sometimes they have become culturally acceptable.
Yes.
Sometimes they've become
Yes.
culturally acceptable. And because they've become
Mm-hmm.
culturally acceptable doesn't mean that they are right. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So now then kind conversations there, then kind educations there. So continuously getting them, continuously being at the table, now then they will help for transform we serve. One thing where I go want for encourage the government for do even in the rollout, me know a very good people there where they call Hope for Youth Sierra Leone, and they're all over the
Mm-hmm.
country, campaign all over the country. Then take this kush thing so tranga. One last week I've been to Mani, we sent over because me self they part of that organization. They sent over 25 young strong people that will represent Nada. As a matter of fact, one of the young people was sitting right next to the vice president on stage talking about this thing. Encourage the young generation, don't shun them out, right? These people have solutions. They come with a wealth of knowledge. They come with a wealth of experience. That time when they say you're
Yeah.
not young picking, you're not young boy, you're not young titi, you don't know nothing, or you not go school, that time is over. These people are in the
Mm-hmm.
community. They know the community.
Yes.
Work with them. Be ally, form allyship with them, and you now go see
Yes.
transformation. Dr. Fatima, no for say you need for go sleep, so make I not hold you because I want for make that baby born fine one. One thing I want to ask you though, even as I want try for wrap up this we session here, so now we they talk about. I know what I know say when I end the show, a lot of people like will come to me and say, Matilda, you had Dr. Fatu on the show, you failed to talk about FGM. There will be a time, people calm down. Now a long story, the time not there for make we can talk, but and I know my audience and I know how they'll get back at me. So I'm just putting it out there right now that no, escape me mind, but certain thing and the way you want for talk, but time you need for get give the deserved time we in need. And this right now we not get a deserved time for able for tapping time. I get a caller, and caller always take priority. Make I go to the caller. Caller, waiting are your name and also you the call from, please. Hello, caller. Caller, can you hear me? I think say the caller they get issues. Yeah, we lost the call. Okay. Yeah. So make I just ask about this quickly as we try for wrap up the show. We dey talk about all the thing that way belle woman and they go through. When they don't get the belle, they don't finally born this pikin. They need time for put them body them back together. Recently, as a matter of fact, you were the one highlighted from that Ghana is going to be
Mm-hmm.
implementing, maternal leave, paid maternal leave, which for me is a welcome news because now one of the anxiety then they and stressors them on women them, especially career women them, right? Having to leave your job, having to take that time off, because definitely we say we are the bearers of life, but at the same time we lose so much in that process. So do you think Sierra Leone at some point, and when I say at some point, I hope sooner, much sooner than later, would, cross over to the Ghanaian example of having paid, maternal leave and the importance of that.
Yes, so actually, Sierra Leone does have paid maternity leave. Sierra Leone get 12. So
Yes.
according to the law, they get 12 weeks of paid maternity leave. Now the employer now in they pay the leave. So in fact, recently, in we own organizations that we been get somebody where they off on maternity leave, and the organization continued to pay their salary. That is a law. That's something we're very proud of. What you really talk about, Ghana get paid maternity leave, but then they debate in the parliament, or they're about to introduce a bill for extend the maternity leave longer, and then even then they start to talk about paternity leave. So
Yeah.
maternity leave around the world, when you look around the world, now a very, very important thing for Bele woman. Then where you born Pekin, first of all, you need a couple of months for let your body heal from that. You don't grow one old human being, you don't born and your body don't change. So you need a couple of months for let you heal. You need couple of months, at least even sometimes even a year for bond with you picking. If you dey breastfeed, most picking exclusively 6 months. Now, Bobby, no more you dey give them. If you dey think about it, say you get for feed somebody, the best thing what they tell belle woman and mama them, say you picking for 6 months. Now, Bobby, no more for gear, no gear water, no gear nothing else. So wetin that they mean? That they mean mama need access to a pikin. How me go dey give exclusive Bobby for 6 months, but I get for go work. Then how the pikin get for body, right? And then so when you look at countries around the world, many countries then they where they get varying lengths of paid maternity leave. We can go all the way up to 1 year. Some of them can even pass 1 year, and then some of them can get, they can mandate say, okay, for the first few months. Now the mama no more they get time, but after that you can split between the mama and the papa. So sometimes the mama want go work part time, sometimes this. So now very, very important thing for the health of the mama for her recover, for the health of the baby, let them feed the baby, and for the bonding, let the baby grow fine. And also for the when we say health of the mama, for in body and physical health, but also in mental health. And it very forget belly and born picking a very, very stressful period of time for woman then. So that after them born, in fact, a lot of they get something they can call postpartum depression, postpartum blues. The blues where you can burn all the hormone and they change, the stress, all of that. Woman they can feel down, they can feel overwhelmed and get hard time for cope. About 80% of women, so nearly 8 out of 10 women, then they get that blues, that small difficulty right? Then for about 20%, then they get actual depression. When all anything and they distress, the hormone, all of that they precipitate them. They don't do many studies the way they realize a country the way they support women and give them paid maternity leave. So you don't get for worry, say I get for one go back now. Oh, could I go feed me picking? Would I they make me picking? Well, if I didn't house with me picking, I don't get money out for survive. They realize a country the way they provide that support, say that the woman and they do better, they able to cope better. So now I think where I think say country then for the look at, yes, Salone get 12 weeks, that is a good start, but possibility for expand. Also, the fact say na employer they pay. So then they open up to issue the way sometimes some employer not go and pay, sometimes they go fire the human. That kind of discrimination they can happen. So some countries around the world get when at the government they pay some from whatever social security system and get with the employer they pay some. So I think that's an area of improvement where Salone can look at, but at least then they try. Then get that in a law where me as you know right now they America are one of the only developed country then or I for say high income country then where they not get paid maternity leave. Zero, they not get nothing. Now then get say you have 12 weeks protected where you not go lose your job, but it not paid mandated by law. But alone that they didn't try, then mandated by law you supposed the employer supposed to pay that one for that 12 weeks.
Indeed, mandated by law, the employer supposed to pay the woman, but we know what the reality is in many of these cases. We when are
Exactly.
activists, the women are the ground where they deal with different organizations,
We
different people
know.
there. We know the reality, so
And some
therefore that
women,
is why.
yeah, and some women they not get job. When you think about the job situation, the majority of people
Yes,
are unemployed. Now we continue. So yes,
yes,
it look good on paper. You are right, absolutely. It look good on paper, but when most people unemployed, well, who that they pay? They not get that day in the first place. And I think say that they tie into when they talk about women's health and mental health and prevention. Let we not forget the elephant in the room. We talk about kush, we talk about addiction, all of that. A lot of our problems we have to strengthen we country and we country ability for provide jobs for people for provide them basic services then they for people because at the end of the day part of the reason where they fuel we epidemics of addiction and depression and coping and all of them thing they dey. But the fact say people them are not get much hope. Young people are not get job. They not get see where then they look forward to. Then they find way for escape. Dr. Carl talk about say yes, you get you genetics, but you also get the stressor. They all them thing and well not stressor. Then stressor then they affect person. Bella woman self. When you they see with Bella woman they sometimes you they see that you they see the depression panel and body all
yes.
broke, they malnourished. Then they try for go through the motion normal, but where you go, where you can go waiting room, you open, you see the woman, then you see them body, you see the look on their face. Say people and they struggle. So long not forget, say we country, our people struggle. And
Let me
health,
jump in there.
yeah,
uh, I just want to jump in because it looks like the conversation is shifting, eh? Because when we talk about environmental stressors,
hmm,
you have the environmental stressors, financial stressors, and
correct.
if you look at even the plans for Feed Salone, create youth employment, if you have create 5,000 jobs or so, I can say, if someone is addicted, a job is not going to solve addiction. So we have to
Hmm,
treat the disease the way it is. Because you get
correct.
people that where they walk, you have people where they walk that are still addicted to drugs and alcohol. You have these stresses, just as Fatu is saying, when it comes to women. Women are worried about finances, how they can get for feed them, picking them. That's a natural instinct for women. Even woman the way they work self, how we get for manage for we picking it and we family. So you get the environmental factors, you have the biological, psychological, social, environmental, financial. So you have a lot of different factors that go into why people may go into addiction, why people may smoke cigarettes, why people may become addicted to even alcohol. You talked about social acceptance. People then they drink. If I sit on Nyaso, I drink one bottle whiskey. Person go say, oh, now because you able buy them. Nobody not go say na addiction. So we get to
Yeah,
look at addiction holistically. And then when we they talk, the message then when we they go out, we get to make sure that people then understand. Because of course, if we they talk about awareness, me not go able go begin talk me Kringlish. I can always call it me Creole English before people then. So even like this message guide is able where you say culturally linguistically appropriate, people then go able to interpret them into their own language. So if na Mende Timini Soso Madinga Fula then they talk, they go able to explain the same message inside the language. But you're right, you have a lot of global stresses, internal stressors, external stressors that are contributing to addiction, that are contributing to stress. But
yeah,
I feel the first thing where you ask, are we there yet? I think when it comes to maternal health, within Dr. Forna in foundation they do, within governments they do, when it comes to mental health, government waiting and they do waiting already available for people them, and how we for teach people that even if you stress, Father forgive. If you stress today, I not think say any of we go stress to the point where we go pick up push. You get so we get to the etiology, the roots cause of why people that they use turn to addiction, and why other people they able cope. Because if you see the youth that are in here, the youth that are in the active addiction, I want to just go back briefly about trauma. When we talk about trauma, when we talk about the war, if you look, take the median age of maybe 33, 34 years old, the youth now, they were either born at the beginning, during, or after the war. They all have traumatic exposure. They all have a traumatic experience. So we have to deal with that trauma with them. PTSD, because the trauma, if you look at, even if you look at an MRI of a brain, when a brain that has exposure to trauma, it has a lot of gray matter on the brain. It changes your brain. Traumatic experiences changes your brain. You look at these children, I call them children because even me first speaking now 34. So we picking them where you see them where they don't go through trauma. How then they cope with their own trauma, then they turn to something where they make their escape. Me go smoke something, Father forgive today, I'm not addicted. But you go get person where he has that addictive gene, where we dey talk about genetic predisposure. You go get somebody where smoke kush today, then they want smoke on all the time, because we know get to that the root cause of their addiction. And so, yes, we have a lot of
Yeah.
factors. And again, I think collectively, you mentioned this youth organization. Matilda, you can have them contact me. I have an entire WhatsApp group for community based organizations, and they have direct access to me. We butt heads sometimes. We're really looking at how do we build their capacity. Because, like you said, now then they're not the system, then they're not the community, now then they're not the ground where they interact with them confident. So, how will they build them up for to provide non-clinical? We know they say let them go treat somebody with get addiction, but you can do peer-to-peer services. You have a lot of stop gap mitigation that we can do to support our youth in general. And for the sake of this conversation, the woman them, because woman them are addicted as well. So how will they support the woman them? Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think it's
So
that
that,
holistic. If I
sorry,
can
Dr.
just say, no, now that holistic approach the way Dr. Carol talked about, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, it don't handle the addiction and all of that. But that's what I wanted us to step back. And when we look at
Mm-hmm.
health, we look at addiction, we look at mental health, we look at maternal health. You get for step
Yes.
back and look at the whole community. One of the things
Yeah.
Exactly.
when we develop, and it's not specific to Salo, it's specific, it's open to women anywhere in the world. Where they do Ayana,
Mm-hmm.
America, and it's the approach similar in Salo. Where you get for we develop something called cocoon pregnancy care, where you get for put woman in a center of layers of services
Yeah.
and personnel and support. And why are they talk
Mm-hmm.
about because when they talk about Salone now, so we country has to do better. Now, because you cannot say woman they get good pregnancy outcome if you not get chop
Right.
way if he malnourished. If you not get
Mm-hmm.
transport for go born in a hospital or for going doctor's visit, if you not get the mental health support, if you not get the doctor, if you not get the midwife, if you not get the medical supplies at the facility, all of them thing and then we get for look at. So long not just look at health in
Mm-hmm.
isolation. Health
Yeah.
Yeah.
involve the food they eat, the money where you able
Mm-hmm.
get access to for work, the water where you they drink, all of them thing and they so I wanted us to, yes, we don't talk about the things what they do and the good things because we're doing a lot of good things, but we also get for
Mm-hmm.
acknowledge say part of
Yeah.
the reason why they get bad outcomes. We not get the basics for our population. We are one of the poorest countries in the world. The majority of our population is unemployed. They don't get job. They're malnourished. The pikin they malnourished. And so, as a country, like how we fet and say we they work for improved maternal mortality, we don't condone, but we they get now to a point where we go stagnate. We not go able to go down further because then kind of thing then they now what we get for do for elevate the life of people then we need for focus on.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Exactly. Um, Definitely 100%. If it's funny because when Dr. Carol in the talk, when in the talk just now, and they talk about looking at the epidemiology, like the root cause, going down to the root cause, and then they talk about the reactionary outcome of the root cause, food, water, this, that. We can go down the list, that if you put all these things together, if these things are not looked at holistically, then you'll miss the
Yes.
mark. It no matter waiting we
Yes.
say now, yeah, it no matter waiting government do, it no matter waiting NGO do, we'll completely miss the mark if it is not looked at holistically. Like when you say one person different from another, me can take
Yeah.
aspirin and react to aspirin. Other person can't take
Mhm.
aspirin, and that aspirin they making aid cold, not so. So it is very
Yes.
important. I'm really looking forward to this guide. I want to see how
Okay.
holistic this guide is, waiting the inside, and how we are going to tackle this thing as a nation. Like I can tell people
Yeah.
then, say, listen, I may sit here and say, I know no one in my family addicted to or have any form of addiction. Then at today they talk, and tomorrow I don't know. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yeah, that's
Anybody
true.
can be a victim.
Hmm.
Anybody can be a victim. And Dr. Carol, I really like your candor, because when you approach mental health, you not only approach them from, the expert lens. I like the fact that once in a while you will come and you'll be so candid about what you yourself you're going through. You
Hmm.
talk about it
Hmm.
so openly, so candidly,
Yes.
without any filter, and I appreciate that. And I make why they look for somebody for to deal with us. I was like, who else I can talk about? Because I know that when she comes to the table, she's coming to the table with her true, authentic self, right?
Hmm.
Our true authentic
Yes.
self, because they hide in self, they hide in feelings them, they hide waiting and your own personal struggles them. And if somebody can be that vulnerable about himself, it means for say, if he approach somebody, they approach somebody with the understanding of his own vulnerability, and they put himself in that person, they in shoes for understand that person, they not so. So my
Yes.
people, Dr. Fatu
So
needs to go sleep. Because I know I mean I call
yes.
her next time. Say, Matilda, make her
So,
sleep, and make her sleep, and then
You don't talk
call.
say
So
say I never go sleep because I woke overnight. The people that they wonder say now sometimes and Dr. Carol I really get for go sleep because in at 10:30 to her net.
exactly, both of these people need to go see people. The conversation is good and we can keep it going for a long time. But how about we take a break, we take a pause, and maybe we reconvene another time? Because there's also something, Dr. Carol, because again, I know my audience, then go say, Matilda, you get Dr. Carol Naya, so talk about what are the provisions made for neurodivergence people within our
yes.
community, because we had neurodivergence people them, and as something when we know they acknowledge now we community
Yes.
go to, oh no, that person
Yes.
then a crazy he had no full up it is, yeah. So all
Yes.
of these conversations we need to have them, but like I say,
Lots of
time not date for make we get all them conversation there,
Say
we
they
need
give you
for like
say they give you 2 minutes.
I know. Yeah,
una
so
no
give
for
me,
say
I'll take 1 minute. Eh?
okay.
1 minute, Matilda. When you
Una know
talk
for
about
say me I like
neural,
for peel the
yes.
onion. And we go peel
Yes.
the
When you,
onion. I promise you guys we will peel the onions, but we'll have to take
yes.
our time to peel the onions, okay?
Yes. When you talk about neurodivergent people, so where I talk about my struggles with depression, and you wouldn't believe the number of them where can call me, WhatsApp me, message me na Facebook, where they can want explain their story, because where I just believe why they tell people and say I they deal with depression, me want no life, people that can say usai, what do you get for be depressed? But again, we have those issues. But I'm neurodivergent, So again, where you see I'm in this role. I'm in this role as someone that has lived with depression. I'm neurodivergent. I had a brain injury at the age of 3. I for them. Now God no more make I'm still alive. Crack my skull. Eh? And so when I understand the struggles of individuals that are neurodivergent. We have to focus on neurodiversity in our communities, but we have to have these uncomfortable conversations, whether or not depression, and even next month or so is maternal mental health month. And like, I'm an ambassador for an organization, and we're going to focus on maternal mental health and all these things. What you woman they do, you born picking, you notice say the picking not the cry, the picking not they develop out if for develop. Not shame, not ID picking. We get picking and we get autism, we get picking and we get ADHD, all sorts of picking and they inside we miss. And all my important. So I'm glad the way you touch on that there, and I'll be very happy to have a follow up on that. Thank you. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. I promise, and I promise everyone watching and those of you who watch later that we will have that conversation. And just to buttress this point today, for the first time in Sierra Leone, we got a walk, on autism, right? Autism
Mm-hmm.
awareness campaign. Salone Freetown we happened today. Kudos to the organizers, kudos to the foundation. Like I said, me apostle, I know they talk, I know they did, but I observe. I go, I read a lot, I observe a lot, I know what's going on the ground. So when I talk with a sense of, knowledge and some form of confidence and truth as to what's going on. Ladies, doctors, thank you very
Thank
much. Before I
you.
left, make una go. Dr. Fatu and Dr. Carol, I just want for make una give three things. Because if I say five, it's too long. Three things where somebody go do, a belly woman go do right now. Just three simple things no more. Because things ganga, let us call a spade a spade. Things ganga, usai we come out. Money not there, it's like, it's hard. So three things where that woman, they self cable do to himself for keeping self again mentally balanced, and for you for helping body prevent maybe miscarriage or anything like during the course of the pregnancy or even after. Just three things normal where they can do we go save their life, put them in balance. Just three.
Me
I
first?
will say for
Or
me.
the neighbor?
Yes, go
Go
ahead,
ahead.
Dr. Forna. Go ahead, Dr. Fatu. Go on. I go
Yeah,
buttress.
no, for me, yeah, so for Bele woman, I think say waiting very important is that before you get Bele, you get for day in the best state of health possible for you. Then they mean paying attention to what you they eat, let you know malnourished. If you malnourished, na problem. If you overweight, na problem. So you get for try your best for day in an optimal way. You they eat right, you they exercise, you they do thing them for decrease you stress. So all them thing they make you health good. So whatever, if you get high blood pressure, you make sure you they get the right medication in control. If you get diabetes, you make sure it control. So just the best health possible. Number one. Number two, you get to assemble a team where they support you during the pregnancy. That team they mean say yes, you get your doctor, you get your midwife, but you also get to get your team where they provide you support because you that support then are physical and mental. So whether now you partner, your husband, your mama, your sister, you paddy them, where you get for born, who are there for day for help you because you need help. So that team day where they support you, you get for put her in place. And then number three, making sure say you deliver na health facility. Deliver not go born na host na salon auto thing way good because when complication meet you, person not go dey way for help you. So make sure say you dey born na a health facility, whether na a clinic where they near you or na a hospital, when a reputable, not a thing where somebody just go make room na you say, oh, can I oh me na nurse, me na midwife, at they deliver you na host. No, because na host, you not get access. Emergency meet you, they bleed heavy, blood not there. Thing you need surgery not there. So you get for go to a reputable clinic or hospital. So then are then three things. Then they optimize your health, put a team where they support you both mentally and physically, and then make sure you deliver in a health facility.
Okay, thank you very much. The number two one we go get for come back and talk about because that's the support. That's where sometimes it's lacking because we have women who face violence, gender-based violence during the pregnancy. So we go get for talk about how they go get for do for manage and cope with violent situation in pregnancy. So you are not off the hook. I'm getting you back here for sure. Dr. Carol, go ahead.
I would say the first thing is, are you mentally prepared to have a child? Beaucoup times, then, especially young, where we young, we can say, "Oh yes, I get a boyfriend," and then picking count up. Are you mentally ready to have a child? Are you mentally and physically ready to have a child? The second is, are you in a healthy relationship? Because relationships influence our mental health. The person where you get for bond with, are they supportive? Are they emotionally abusive? Because abuse not all just for let them be too no more. Individuals can be emotionally abusive. There's financial abuse as well. So are you in a mentally healthy relationship? And then lastly, control your thoughts. Control your thoughts. You can manage your thoughts, because now where we can sit on Baku, like you say, they're wondering, that they can lead to mental stress, emotional stress as well. So yes, those are the three.
Okay,
Dr.
thank
Carol,
you
you know
very much.
what, we need a request for Dr. Carol for really strategies how for control thoughts, because now one thing what they tell people
Yes.
no one do, but we
Okay.
need teaching for understand how for do am. So that's a
Yeah.
request.
Well,
Yes. So
thank you
just
very much,
briefly.
Dr.
Oh, okay.
Thank you very much, Dr. Fatu. It looked like say Dr. Fatu
Okay.
been there inside me head, because I mean just want to say, well, Dr. Farrell, you say control your thoughts. What does that mean? Control your thoughts. But then next time when you come back, you will tell us
Yes.
exactly, walk us through what that means.
Exactly.
Control your, because there has to be a step, a method on
Yes.
how you go
It's a
about
skill.
it. Ladies
Exactly.
and
The
gentlemen,
strategy.
viewers, listeners all over the world, listen, the doctors were here. I promise you they will be here. They are here. And I promise you they will be back, because there's much more to talk about. We don't talk about, I know, we not talk about FGM. We not talk about, gender-based violence, different forms. We not talk about neurodivergent scoping. There's so much we'll not talk about, but we'll talk about
Yeah.
it. It's about peeling the layers of the onions. But when you peel your bas, you not just the peel and quick one no more. You get for go small, 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 small until you arrive at waiting you need, not to so. So I want to thank these beautiful women for taking the time,
Yes.
for coming here, for being candid in their thoughts. And this is what we need in our community. This is what we need in our nation. Hope for Youth Sierra Leone. When I know for say I'm always there for you guys. Dr. Carol said I will put you in
Yes.
contact with her. She's willing, she's ready to work with you guys. Like I said, we there all over Salone, no district, no province, no the way, they not sabi we. All the LUCs them, they all sabi we. The Paramount Chief them, they all sabi we. So
Okay.
we are there, we are doing the work, and we'll continue to do the work. But this is a great opportunity for a partnership for a good cause. Because you youth man, you go able to talk to your company youth man, right? If I can, I ask, I say my name is Dr. Cole, then go look me say yes, you don't come with your title. But if me and you, where they lay down at that bed, it I mean, we will know how we be the peace and we say if I can't talk to you, you go able to understand. So let us do better. The question is, are we there yet? We are certainly not there yet. But with concerted effort, we can get there, right?
We're on our
With
way.
concerted
We're on our
and
way.
get there. Yes. Okay. Thank you very much, ladies, and thank you for gracing this platform. I know say beaucoup people like go can
Thank
later and can watch the show, and we go distribute them. And not only that, we go make sure say all throughout this week. Now we station a Salone, we go to replay them, because the message is much more important there than it is here. Right? So we'll make sure we'll do that. Thank you very much. And una go yari for me, what I call una not balance me. Say walk there. Una no balance me. I beg, una no
Okay.
balance me. This conversation
Yeah.
needs to be heard. Thank you. Thank you very much. May God bless we all and us all. May God bless you all. May God bless Mama Salone. May God bless everything where we put and pan and make God continue for cover way until next time where we go sit on so again. I don't know what we go talk about next time, but we will talk about something on a tata.
Amen. Amen. Thank you.
That's what we say make we drive kush na salone. But we life them.
That is so right, yeah now. What's if they do? When we bother them, they die. Push on down the hill, now them body just they try. So foot at them body, they and now they just they cry. Now we bother them foot so they swell now why? I don't know if now the chemical or what's in them they put. Best now for avoid them, nothing but the truth. Other food and they for it, come up and kush. We say bring this message so you do work for you.
Every day we they lost it man their life because of kush. Yeah, Papa government, NGOs not come so we hate. Yeah, the way they import kush, you know like Salone, no. Now we value we like Dr. Isaac was
say that's a kush. Me brother don't want before you time. Say that's a kush.